What's up, guys? What's Four Star Sports Media, and you're sitting down right now at the sports buffet, and we've got quite the platter for you today. We're going to start off with some Northwest Arkansas Naturals talk, as the Naturals welcome in the Tulsa Drillers, Double A affiliate of the Los Angeles Dodgers, to Arvis Ballpark tomorrow night for a three-game series to start the 2024 season. It'll be tomorrow night, Saturday, 6:05, and Sunday, 2 p.m., 2:05 first pitch. Real quick, we got Jackson Collier coming in here at the top of the hour, 1 o'clock, to talk Arkansas Razorbacks. What's going on with Eric Musselman? Is the Must Bus traveling out west? What's the latest? We'll get with Jackson on that starting at 1 p.m. And then at 1:30, we got Joey P. Wood from Wood Wrestling coming in to talk Wrestlemania, WWE's biggest spectacular event of the year. Is the granddaddy of them all. It is the night of all nights, except now they've split it into two nights. So we'll have Joey Wood on at 1:30 to talk about that. But let's get started with the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. They announced their preliminary roster for the 2024 season, meaning the roster to start the year. It's a total of 20 players. Going to be a lot of fun in Northwest Arkansas. And I tell you one thing, this roster is loaded. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, but for the Arkansas faithful out there, Caden Wallace is back. We told you he'd be back 2 weeks ago. He's back. Caden Wallace is back. You got Dylan Shroom, power hitter for the Naturals, is back. Javier Vaz is back. River Town, very talented young man. Gavin Cross, one of the top prospects for the Royals right now. Speaking of the prospects for this team, out of the top 30 prospects, it's well represented because you've got Caden Wallace, the number 3 prospect, Mason Barnett, the number 6 prospect, Gavin Cross, the number 8 prospect, Chandler Champlain, number 12 prospect, incredible pitcher, a lot of power off the mound. Javier Vaz, as I just mentioned, is the number 16 prospect. Noah Cameron, a definite favorite in Northwest Arkansas. Number 21, Peyton Wilson, talented player, number 24. There's others. Tyson Guerrera is number 30 as well. But there's 15 total pitchers on the roster. You've got 7 total infielders, 2 catchers. Luca Tresh is back again. Luca's a definite another fan favorite for Northwest Arkansas. But Tommy Shields is back for another year. Shields is a character. I'll just put it like that. I like Tommy Shields a lot. He does a great job for Northwest Arkansas. He has assembled an incredible staff. LC, aka Larry Carter, the pitching coach, been at Northwest Arkansas in this organization for quite some time. Arvis Ballpark, if you guys haven't been out there, you're missing out. It's a beautiful ballpark to go see a baseball game at. Very family-friendly atmosphere. For sure, most definitely, especially on Sundays. Kids get to run the bases on Sunday, but tomorrow night it's going to be a lot of fun out there at Arvis Ballpark. You get a chance to go watch a talented ball club that has players that you're going to see moving up and down all year. We call it the Naturals Ladder here at 4 Star Sports Media, and we've got the podcast that's it's basically going to become a segment on this show every week. But the Naturals Inside Report. So we call it the Naturals Ladder. Last year we saw a guy like Jonathan Bolin, former guest, former Memphis Tiger pitcher, start at the AA level, jump all the way to the major league level, and end up pitching in Kansas City by the end of the year. As we all know, it's very early in the year. There's 69 home games for this Northwest Arkansas Naturals team. And like I said, it all starts tomorrow night. First pitch, 7:05. They take on the Tulsa Drillers out at Arvis Ballpark. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Post-game fireworks are presented to you by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. I personally have not had Freddy's. If someone has, reach out to me on Twitter at 4 Star Sports West or at 4 Star Sports M. Let us know what it's like. Like I said, never had it. If you guys want to come out to the ballpark, let us know. We'll go by and talk with you guys as well when you're out there. Like I said, another fun season. A lot of props to this Northwest Arkansas Naturals team. When you look at them last year, the season split into two halves, and that's exactly what this Naturals team did. They split it into two halves. First half of the season, this team struggled. They had a lot of injuries, um, things of that nature. But the second half of this season, this team really, really put it together and made a run at the playoffs by the end of the year. They were only a game or two out from making the playoffs by the end of the 2023 season. And I expect that to be the case this year. Like I said, pitching is where this team really, really, really makes their bread and butter for sure. That is the backbone of this team. And I mean, like I said earlier, when you look at a pitching coach like Larry Carter, he demands a lot out of his pitchers, but at the same time, he wants to mold these guys because, as we've talked about with Jonathan Bolin, Hunter Goodman, and others, the Double A level is really where these talented players are becoming the best baseball players they can be, where they're really getting a lot of the tutelage and a lot of the learning in their game is due to Double A level. It happens quite often. Like I said, Jonathan Bolin spoke very highly about the guys up in Northwest Arkansas, Coach Shields, Coach Carter, and others. And the other thing is, I mean, it's the ballpark. I mean, if you get down into the guts of that ballpark, there's a very, very nice batting cage down up under there. The clubhouse is very nice. The press box is very nice. Where the voice of Sean Mernon, the voice of the natural Sean Mernon, does all his work is really nice. That the atmosphere and the facilities that the Northwest Arkansas Naturals have, it really second to none. But we're gonna go ahead and jump over to our second guest, or our second topic, I should say, and that is what is going on in Arkansas. I don't know what's happening. I do know one man that does probably have a really good idea of what's happening, and that's Mr. Jackson Collier, our next guest. Jackson is on top of it from multiple angles. He's one of the first people that us here at Four Star Sports Media really started following and really started engaging with, and it's been very fruitful for us because Jackson is amazing at what he does. Jackson Collier, welcome to the show.
Hey man, thanks so much for having me on. Really appreciate the kind words. Following along with what you guys over here do as well. Really big fan of what you do. Just keep chugging along, keep working at it. I saw a bunch of really good content, and also I'm a huge fan. I'm glad that you're a fan of the WWE too. I see some of your posts about WWE stuff. I recently got back into it. I was a huge WWF fan as a kid, so seeing you post about some wrestling stuff really made me happy because I've gotten back into it in the past couple of years with it just going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we titled this little weekly show, the Sports Buffet, and for the reason of I want to talk a little bit of everything, and that's definitely a sport that has some popularity to it. And then, of course, growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, as I did, Memphis wrestling is just kind of in my blood. But Jackson, when we look at something that's in people's bloods, Arkansas athletics and Arkansas basketball specifically, I haven't found a more rabid fan base than the ones in Fayetteville, Arkansas. You've been covering this city and this town a little bit longer than me. Have you found too many more that are more rabid than them?
No, not really. It's a really niche fan base in that everybody always talks about Arkansas doesn't have any professional teams. I mean, you have the Arkansas Travelers, it's a minor league baseball team, but there's no full-on professional league team. So what you have is the Arkansas Razorbacks. No disrespect to Arkansas State, no disrespect to the Little Rock Trojans, Hendrix College, UCA Bears. I can list all the colleges that are here that have great programs in and of themselves. But there's one flagship program. There's one major program. That's the University of Arkansas. And it kind of, outside of some pockets in Northeast Arkansas, almost like unites the entire state. And I don't know if there are many other states who can say that. I think Hawaii is one. Because the Rainbow Warriors, they are passionate about their Rainbow Warriors, especially football. Is in terms of basketball, I have found some really rabid fan bases. And college athletics is one of those things where most fan bases are diehard supporters of their program. St. John's has a very, very, very dedicated fan base. I've grown very close to some St. John's fans. Give them a shout out. As soon as Mike Anderson took that job a few years ago, I was kind of called upon by St. John's beat writers and fans, and we're asking me all about Mike Anderson, and formed a bond with them. So I would put St. John's up there with Arkansas in terms of rabid fan bases, especially for basketball.
So when you look at the Arkansas job as a whole, I think it's a top job, not the top job. It's a top job in the SEC. When you look at the SEC as a whole, it's one of the top conferences in college basketball. So we saw videos from Hunter Yurachek saying, "Are you still here?" Evidently, that was a troll job. What's the latest, Jackson, that you know on the Must Bus, and is it going to stay in Fayetteville, or is it already packed up and heading out west?
Well, it's one of those things where there's not been official confirmation one way or the other. The anticipation is that Eric Musselman will be the head coach at Southern California next season. I've talked to multiple sources in California who cover USC who have indicated that there should be a press conference tomorrow announcing that. And essentially, we're kind of just waiting for official word today that that'll be the announcement. There's been an account recently tweet out, actually, USCsports.com recently tweeted out that, or USChoops.com recently tweeted out that Eric Musselman and his family will be on a private jet leaving XNA to LAX here in the near future. That's something I've been tracking today as well. Haven't been able to confirm that information, but it's something to watch for sure, and Musselman talks with like, in terms of at open jobs, that's been a hot topic ever since January. He's been kind of eyeing different positions. He was connected to Louisville, didn't get that job. He's connected to Washington later, was connected to other schools, but eventually landed on USC. And you mentioned the troll job from Hunter Yurachek, and I don't have any legitimate intel on this, but my reading of the situation was that Yurachek essentially took an opportunity to put Musselman in a difficult position where he said, look, either commit to the University of Arkansas and stay with us. Like, here's a video. You can do whatever you want. Obviously didn't get his Musselman's consent to do this. But here's a video. It says you're still here. It'll get the fan base riled up and think that you're coming back. The coaching staff, to my understanding, after talking with a few sources, was caught off guard and very unhappy with that. But they kind of carried on business as usual after that video. They landed a recruit in Josh Cohen from the transfer portal. And then Hunter Yurachek goes on a random podcast and kind of doubles down and says, well, Eric Musselman's the coach this year. That could change tomorrow. You'll have to ask Coach Muss. Kind of putting the ball in Eric Musselman's court, so to speak. And I think that kind of rubbed Musselman and some other people the wrong way. But as an athletics director, if you're Hunter Yurachek, you don't make those two moves, like kind of going rogue or unilaterally making those moves. You don't make those without having an ace up your sleeve or having a plan. So maybe he was trying to push Musselman to take a different job. And then, because the very next day, it's reported that Musselman is interviewing for the USC job, and now it's progressed all the way to, potentially looking for confirmation that it is happening. That's currently what's going on right now. I think everybody is looking to confirm that is the case.
What a wild ride for Eric Musselman in Fayetteville. I mean, really, it's been extremely wild, and it's not even over with. But when you to your point about Yurachek, you can't blame him. I mean, this is just my opinion. I mean, but you can't. I don't blame him one bit. I mean, it seems that every job that's come open the last couple of years with Musselman, there's been little rumblings or rumors or social media page rumors or whatever, where oh well he could be interested. But when you look at it moving forward, of course, the names you hear are the Chris Beards, Tang, the guy from Kansas State, others. Who do you realistically see as candidates for a job that's not even open yet?
So this is one thing too, and I agree with you 100%. I think Hunter Yurachek, if he manages to pull this off and makes the right hire, if he did have a plan in place and he's able to kind of capitalize on the plan he had, I think he would come out of this looking very strong, like he had a plan and that he got it done necessarily. So, and that's where I'm at right now. So if you look at candidates, as you mentioned earlier too, Arkansas is a top job. I would probably have it a top 15 job, probably around number 12 in the country. It's a very, very good job, especially for college basketball. There are a number of coaches who would really want this job. Everybody keeps talking about Chris Beard. And I think there's merit to that. There are other names that are popping up. You mentioned Jerome Tang. Will Wade is another name that gets brought up some. I think there are other coaches who are wild cards who have had success, who fans might not expect to be connected to the job, will be connected to the job, whether that's through agents for pay raises and job security or what have you. But the job, if/when it opens, is going to generate a lot of interest. And it just comes down to nailing the right hire. And I think it's very obvious to anybody who has paid any attention to the situation that Chris Beard is the number one target for the job.
And see, then the question comes, and of course, I've asked some questions that haven't really got. I mean, has he signed the extension? There's Ole Miss is saying, oh yeah, he signed it. Other people are saying no, he hadn't. Other people are saying he has. I mean, and then at the end of the day, in today's college athletics, Jackson, does it even matter if he signed
it? In some circles, yes, and some no. And part of it depends on, the language of the contract and the amounts, honestly. Because one of the biggest issues in trying to hire coaches does end up being the buyout amounts. So if he did sign it, it would be, I guess, common sense to have an increased buyout amount, which it would just mean more money for Arkansas to fork over to be able to hire Chris Beard if he did sign it. There are rumors that he hasn't signed it, and who knows? The language that was sent out when it was announced, they've agreed to commit to an extension. So he hadn't signed it at that point based on that language, but has he signed it up to this point? I don't know of many people who actually do know one way or the other. I've talked to multiple USC sources and coaches in, I guess, the greater college coaching landscape, and that none of them know. So I don't think there's any certainty into whether he signed it or not. I would just assume if he has signed it, the buyout amount would be more. But I also don't think the buyout amount in the new contract was super outrageous. Ole Miss is notorious for burying their contract information in the foundation there. So some of those terms and amounts are difficult to find. But of the sources I have talked to in Ole Miss, it seems like the buyout amount, even in the new agreement, was fairly low. In talking to Little Rock money sources, it seems like they would have no problem whatsoever forking it over.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that a lot of the fans want to talk about NIL, and Arkansas doesn't have the money. When it comes to getting a coach, they've got the money. They'll be able to pay whatever is need to be paid. Man, what a wild ride in basketball. Jackson, just to jump over real quick to football, at spring football going on, of course, the prodigal son has returned. Bobby Petrino is back running the offense. Just real quick, touch on scheduling, if you don't mind. I know that Arkansas and Memphis resume scheduling coming up, and there's a 3-game schedule with one of those being in Little Rock. With the renovations going on at Memphis, I don't know, um, what the stadium's going to look like at that point in time. But A, what's your thoughts on that series returning in football? And then B, do you see this series being completed and then playing all 3 games?
I think it makes sense geographically. And look, Arkansas has kind of been down, but Memphis has like a storied football history. There's been a little bit of a rivalry element there, in a little bit, I guess you could say. Mike Norvell was there, passed over the Arkansas job recently for Florida State, and Mike Norvell has Arkansas ties at UCA. There's the D'Angelo Williams saga in the early 2000s. And all that sort of stuff. And I'm sure there were other things earlier in my lifetime. And of course, the Arkansas and Memphis basketball rivalry is one that I've always wanted to revisit and reignite, just personally, for great basketball and all that sort of stuff. But I do imagine that this series will go to completion. I don't imagine either team would back out. I think it's great for both states. I think it's great for the fans of both programs, because look, from an Arkansas standpoint, there are fans who complain about not enough games in Little Rock, traveling full course of the state to get up to Fayetteville for every game. Well, you got a Memphis game in Little Rock for one, and then you also have a game in Memphis. For some Arkansans, that's a much shorter drive to Memphis than it is to Fayetteville. I'm pretty sure it's even shorter to get to Memphis from Little Rock than it is to Fayetteville. I think it's 3 hours to Fayetteville and 2 to 2.5 from Little Rock to get to Memphis. So, but I think it's a great series for both programs. I think that we'll see it to fruition. I think it should be good football. Bobby Petrino coming back should reignite the fan base and their passion for the football team. Maybe that can have some sort of a better offense this year than they had last year. In Memphis, like I said, has been one of the premier group of 5 programs, especially in recent memory.
Jackson, real quick, man, before we get you out of here, talking about Arkansas basketball, of course, we don't know who the coach is, but we don't know who's on the roster. Can you fill us in with any information on, who's still there, who might stay, who may come back, or do we even know?
So, I mean, at this point, Bayfall allegedly entered his paperwork to enter the portal. He at least announced his intent to enter the transfer portal today. So I think you're down to Tremont Mark, Trevin Brazil, and Caleb Battle. I think everybody else is either entered the transfer portal or is out of eligibility. We'll see what happens there. Depending on the coaching hire, you could have some guys withdraw from the portal. I don't think that's outside of the realm of possibility. On top of that, it depends on who the next hire is in terms of retaining those other 3 I just mentioned. Regardless, I think you're looking at a pretty big rebuild. And I think you were looking at that whether Musselman stayed or left. It looks like you're probably going to have to add 8 or more guys in the transfer portal, most likely. We'll see what happens with the high school recruits too. Eric Musselman had 2 high school recruits coming in, Isaiah Elohim and Jalen Shelley. I would anticipate Isaiah Elohim would try to get out of his letter of intent at Arkansas. I think Shelley could be persuaded to stay, but that's another one to monitor as well.
Full of just pertinent, incredible information as always. Jackson Collier has joined the show talking Arkansas Razorbacks. Jackson, before we let you get out of here, man, tell everybody what you do, how to find you, and what's all your socials.
Yeah, so on Twitter, I am at Jackson Collier, just all one word, JacksonCollier. Basketball analyst, reporter, recruiting extraordinaire for the Rivals Network at hogbeat.com, HAWGBEAT.com. Great website, work for great people over there. We have a premium message board you can sign up for if you want. That we've been tracking all of this. I will say, if you were a member of hogbeat.com and were following along with our premium message board, I would have been able to share with you information dating back to January 9th. in regards to Musselman potentially looking for a way out. I don't know when it became public knowledge that he was looking at other places, but we've been monitoring this for quite some time now. So it's work that I've been proud of and just really enjoy what we're doing over there.
Well, man, thank you very much for carving out some of your busy time for us today, and we hope to have you back on.
Absolutely. No, I really enjoyed this. Like I said earlier, really enjoy what y'all do. Keep doing it. I'll keep tuning in, and anytime you ask me if I'm available, I will be on here. Maybe next time we can talk some wrestling or something. I'm tuned in. I'm about to have Wrestlemania on all weekend.
Hey, man, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Thank you very much, Jackson. Jackson Collier from hogbeat.com joined the show. That guy is full of information. If you're looking for somebody to follow that's going to provide you with pertinent, strong information, it's going to be Jackson. And what a wild ride for Eric Musselman in Fayetteville. Wow. Could be going to USC. Could potentially be getting on a plane today from NWA and heading out to the West Coast. What a ride. Who does Arkansas hire next? What does the roster look like? How long does the rebuild take? All these are questions that'll be answered very, very soon out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. Wow. What a conversation with Jackson Collier. Incredible stuff, man. Up next, we're going to have Joey Woods coming on talking Wrestlemania 40. Two-night extravaganza. Going to be a lot of fun. As always, if you're a wrestling fan, you've got to enjoy it. If you're a wrestling fan of old, like Jackson and I were talking about, you really enjoy it because The Rock is back. So get a little nostalgia mixed in there as well. We thank you for everybody watching and listening right now at all of our socials. We appreciate your support. Throw some comments in here. I don't mind engaging with you guys while the show is going on. Also, are you looking for some tickets to some concerts? You looking for some tickets to Wrestlemania this weekend? Arkansas baseball, Memphis baseball, Memphis Redbirds, Northwest Arkansas Naturals, Kansas City Royals, Chicago White Sox. If so, jump over to SeatGeek, create you a login account, go in there, find you a ticket, $50 or more, put in 4-Star Sports Media, and we will be able to save you $20 off that ticket purchase. Do it, tag it, let your friends know about it. SeatGeek is the official seat provider of 4-Star Sports Media, and we want it to be the same for you. Joey Wood, like I said, getting ready to come on here momentarily. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking with Joey Wood, talking all things WrestleMania, right here on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network. Welcome back, guys. Talking Wrestlemania. Joey Wood getting ready to join us here momentarily. What a build to WrestleMania. As we know, if you're a wrestling fan, then you know the road to WrestleMania is always going to begin at the Royal Rumble. We would see Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble back-to-back years. First time since Stone Cold Steve Austin did it. Rhodes would then go on to choose Roman Reigns to finish his story. And then chaos would ensue. There is a lengthy list of matches. We're going to dig through them a little bit now in preparation of Joey coming on. We'll start with night one, Saturday night. I mean, it's incredible card. But we start out with Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom, Death Row Dom Mysterio. Yes, that's Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio going against each other. My question is this: anyone that watches wrestling, feel free to tune in, shoot a comment in here. But where is Dragon Lee? Where does Dragon Lee fit into this? I would have rather have seen Carlito step in. I mean, that would be really cool. No pun intended. Chew on an apple. But I think that with Carlito not being involved, and we'll get more with Joey here in a minute. You got Joey Woods coming on at the bottom of the hour. Right here on the Sports Buffet on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network, talking WrestleMania. I think Carlito may pop back up. We may see a heel turn from Carlito, which I would personally enjoy. To me, heel Carlito is the best. He spits in the face of people who doesn't think he's cool. But, I mean, I think in the end, Rey Mysterio will get the win. I just think there's going to be some shenanigans going on afterwards. Up next, we got Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill going up against Damage Control. Little 6-pack women's match. I think obviously Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi get the win. I mean, you don't bring back Naomi and you don't debut Jade Cargill for them to lose on the WrestleMania night one. Let's just be honest about it. I'd like to see Jade Cargill just come in and annihilate everyone. I think that would be a nice way to feature her on WrestleMania. On the backside of that, I think it would be a nice way to feature her as a heel by having her turn on everyone and just annihilate everyone and leave her standing in the ring by herself. I don't think you can make anyone look any stronger in wrestling than having them in the center of the ring and bodies just strode everywhere. That's going to be a fun match, though. It's going to be a fun match. Up next, we got a 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. There is some stipulations here. It says dual teams can win. So this obviously tells me that they're going to go back to splitting WWE tag team titles. I like this. I have no problem with that. I'm excited about that. So I figure you'll see one team win one set, one team win the other. Question is, who's going to do it? You got DIY, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano versus Awesome Truth, which, in case you don't know who that is, what's up? That's Ron Killings, a.k.a. R-Truth, and The Miz versus The New Day versus the Catch Republic, which is versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller versus the champions, which are The New Day. Like I said, I think you see two different teams win here. I don't think you see the same teams win both titles. And I think you're going to see... I mean, I would honestly, let's just call it. I would like to see Awesome Truth win one. and then I figured you're gonna put the other ones on a heel, so you'll put that on Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. It's just predictions. I don't, I've been watching wrestling a long time. Up next, you got a match that I cannot wait for, and that is Uso versus Uso. Jey Uso versus Jimmy. I think this match sets up for Rikishi to possibly come back. We got Joey Wood coming on here just momentarily, and this is going to be my first question to Joey. Is do we see Rikishi show up? And I feel like we almost have to. But let's go ahead. I'll tell you what. Let's bring Jonathan Sturban in here real quick first. Jay Sturd, man, what's going on? So we're talking Wrestlemania here, Sports Buffet, 4-Star Sports Media. John, real quick, man, Uso versus Uso. This is kind of what the topic is right now before we get Jimmy Wood, or I'm sorry, Wood on it, Joey Wood on at the bottom of the hour. But do you see Rikishi showing back up, John?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of been interesting the last couple of weeks, just because remember Jey Uso actually called out Jimmy Uso, and then back in my hometown in Memphis, Tennessee, Jimmy Uso actually accepted that challenge back, when they had SmackDown here back home in Memphis. I can see him basically being there ringside, maybe supporting the guys, and maybe do the stink face to both of them just to get the referees distracted. Maybe that, but that's the only thing I can probably see on the top of my head, maybe doing the stink face to both of them.
Man, I mean, that's what I was about to say. I could see a stink face being applied to both, but I could also see him standing up for Jey. Mm-hmm. Jimmy's always been the one that's put it in his face. I'm the brother. You follow me. And I could see Rikishi almost hitting a super kick on Jimmy for Jey to get the win. Now, like I said, we'll get with Joey on it here shortly. But up next, just to go over night one. Up next, we got the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther, who is the current champion, and Sami Zayn. But I think half the nation really wanted Chad Gable in this match, which I think really sets up what I think could be a nice little run of matches between Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, and Gunther. But then you continue to have Gunther be, damn near unstoppable. He's had the Intercontinental Championship for what I feel like is the longest in history now. I feel like he's surpassed Honky Tonk Man. And honestly, I think he's one of the best champions we've ever seen. At least he defends it. Roman Reigns. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I think it's going to be a good match. I think we're going to see Sami Zayn. He's going to pull at the emotional heartstrings. And then in the end, I think we're going to see Sami lose it. And then I think that's when you see it get set up for next pay-per-view. Premium live event. Whatever WWE wants to call it now. But eventually, I think you see Chad Gable versus Gunther. And personally, I would like to see Chad Gable in Gunther's run and give him that kind of pop, because I think Chad Gable has deserved it. Let's be honest here. He came in with Jason Jordan, who was then Kurt Angle's son, who we don't even know if he even is. That storyline just stopped. Now he was with Otis, which don't get me wrong, I love Otis. It's hilarious. But then the whole shoosh, that thing was so stupid. But now I like this business, this more serious Chad Gable. It's just been fun. That's been a fun storyline to watch build fairly quickly. What's your thoughts on that storyline, John?
Can you see? Well, I was going to ask you. Can you see like an Austin Theory maybe in the next couple weeks, maybe trying to defend that for that title?
Possibly. Let me bring let me bring Joey Woods in here. Joey, what's going on, my man? Joey, can you hear me?
Something for like a segment.
Yeah, we got some technical difficulties with Joey. He'll pop back in here, but who knows? I think with earlier, I don't know if you missed it, John, but I think Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are going to win one of the tag team titles because of the wording in that match. I think you're gonna see two different shows, different titles again, which I enjoy because it allows both of those shows to have their own pay-per-view. Sorry, premium live event. So I think Austin will win that match. I think this is going to be. I think you'll see Chad Gable come down to the ring. I think you'll get the emotional side. I mean, that's what makes Sami Zayn Sami Zayn. Is everybody loves to love him. I mean, he's an incredible wrestler. I wish he would bring back the El Generico look. I thought that was really cool. Let's try to get Joey back in here again. Joey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. We got you, man. We got you.
Yeah, there's a little lag on my side. I apologize. I'm actually currently at an event here in Philly, GCW, the Collective. I'm actually outside right now doing this interview right now.
Joey's everywhere, John. I mean, he's at GCW right now. He's going to be at Wrestlemania this weekend. So, all right, real quick, Joey. What's your thoughts on the build so far to this Wrestlemania?
If you asked me that a week ago, I would have said it was horrible outside of the main event. But I think this last week they making these.
Yeah, you're kind of cutting in and out there, Joey. But yeah, no, I agree. Up until we've seen The Rock become The Rock of old plus some, I'm really interested in that matchup, but I'm really interested to see what's going to happen next. So when you look at Saturday night, night one, Cody Rhodes, Seth freaking Rollins versus Rock Roman, I'm assuming Rock and Roman are going to win. I've been watching wrestling for a long time. I assume Rock and Roman are going to win, creating a all-out hell for Sunday. Am I on the right path, Joey? All right, Joey's having some technical difficulties. We apologize for that. But yeah, I mean, John. I mean, like I said, when you look at it, it's I think it's setting up to be a tribal bloodline rules, tribal rules, whatever you want to describe it as, for Sunday. And I think that sets up just an incredible matchup. But John, let's keep going through the card real quick here. So you got the Women's World Championship match, which I am definitely looking forward to. Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley being the champion. I think the Judgment Day comes out. No titles, John. I think Becky gets the win and Rhea takes some time. There's been some rumors, things of that nature, that Rhea's not healthy. If you look on her social media, recently she's had the wrist thing on. So, maybe some injury there to the wrist, maybe some issues going on with that. So I expect Becky to get the title put back on her. And to get the win. And then I think you see a Jade Cargill maybe step up a little bit. Now, Jade Cargill just got to WWE. So you can't give her a title shot already. I mean, that's what fans are complaining about AEW right now, that Mercedes Moné gets a title shot and she just got there. But, that's a whole nother podcast for a whole other day. Yeah, and then, John, you got the finale, the bloodbath, Mama Rhodes night one, Mama Rhodes is going to be there, John. She's going to be front row watching her baby, the son of Dusty. It's going to be hard times, Daddy. Cody Rhodes, Seth freaking Rollins versus The Rock and Roman Reigns. That's going to be one hell of a way to end night one. My goodness. Obviously, I don't think Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins win because you wouldn't have been talking about the bloodline rules this whole time to not give us a bloodline rule.
Right.
But now, does Seth turn on Cody? If you've been watching recently, there's been some little nougats. Seth has been dropping some little nougats lately. I think Seth could turn on Cody. Possibly. And then night two. Oh, night two. Talk to me. I think it's going to start out with an incredible match. Yeah. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles is jacked. This man looks like he's been on roids for 20 years, looking like Scott Steiner coming back.
Good one.
I mean, God rest his soul, but Brian Christopher back in the day, he had muscles that were coming out of areas that you wasn't supposed to have muscles. I know. I watched it. I was sitting right there. I saw it. Brian Christopher was, that was the time back then. I'm not saying AJ Styles is on roids. I'm just saying he's jacked like he would be. He's not, I don't think. It seems to be, from what AJ has said in the past, it's gone natural. He's an incredible athlete. Look up how old he is, and you'll understand how how good of an athlete he is. This storyline's been amazing. It brought back feels of Brian Pillman, Stone Cold Steve Austin. It brought back shades of Triple H, Randy Orton. People are breaking into people's houses. It's happening on every wrestling show you watch now. And not just WWE. It's happening on others too. Incredible stuff. These boys are fighting in their front yard like Cletus and Bubba T. Been drinking too long. They get to fighting in the front yard. I loved it. I love the police cam, by the way. The police body cam. Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful. The camera angles from WWE, by the way, lately have been on point. Following the wrestler all the way through the curtain and going through Gorilla and, straight to the back. Oh, man. Beautiful. Really excited about WrestleMania. But, yeah. LA Knight, AJ Styles. I think LA Knight's going to have to win this. No offense to AJ, but AJ puts LA Knight over. It doesn't make AJ look bad. He's a legend. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You can argue with your mammy on that. That's a fact. But then LA Knight gets the win here. I think it's going to be a great match, physical match. Looking forward to it. But then, John, after that, dude, it's bam, 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 bam. It's big time, big time, big time. I think what'll be next will be Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament in the Philadelphia street fight. Do you want to see somebody get hit with a stop sign? Because I do.
Or a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, something. Get out, put the Flyers jersey on, the Philadelphia Flyers jersey, and get some hockey sticks out. Right. Or, put the Philadelphia Eagles jersey on. Rumor has it that Jason Kelsey has been approached by WWE. So I think this would be a great spot for him. You can put him in, let him, snap the ball to somebody and run a guy over or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? You're a center. How is you going to use the guy? I'm sorry. But yeah, do stuff like that. And I think that's going to be a fun match. I think Bobby Lashley and Street Profits get the win there.
I agree.
Big time triple threat for the United States Championship. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens versus the man that everybody freaking can't stand, and that's Logan Paul, who is also the champion. Well, I hate to tell everybody, but Logan Paul's probably going to win this match. I think they're going to keep the title on him. I do. I think here's what I think. I think Logan Paul wins. I think Kevin Owens takes the pin, and I think it sets up Orton versus Paul 1-on-1. I think Kevin Owens is just there to be there. I think he takes the pin. I could be completely wrong.
I think Owens gets the win.
Interesting. Then you've got WWE Women's Championship match between the challenger Bayley and the champion Io Sky. I mean, you got to give Bayley her flowers, right? I mean, let's think back to a WrestleMania where there was no one there, right? Who was the champion then? Who carried the company women's wise through that? It was Bayley. You got to give her flowers. You got to give her chance. Let her finish her story. Everybody else has a story in WWE. Let her have hers too.
She didn't come back for nothing, right?
I mean, exactly. Once again, didn't come back for nothing. You're not going to bring them back to have them lose at WrestleMania. I don't think. Maybe. I don't know. They fooled me before. But I think Bayley gets the win there. What about you, John?
Yeah, that's where I think that's one reason I said she didn't come back for nothing type. Because I really do think, they're trying to make her back being like one of the top wrestlers out there, in my opinion.
100%. 100%.
Nothing they're gonna basically hopefully that she'll win.
Yeah. Up next, we got the World Heavyweight Championship match. Challenger Seth freaking Rollins. Champion Seth freaking Rollins. Challenger Drew McIntyre. Big time match right here, John. I think we see some more shenanigans here. That's my word of the day. By the way, Eric Musselman is gone. Just let everybody know. He is gone. Jackson Collier all but confirmed it earlier. It's done. Musselman is out at the University of Arkansas. And now the search will begin for who is next. Could it be Chris Beard? Could it be Jerome Tang? Numerous names have been thrown out. But Jackson Collier earlier, John, man, that guy is incredible. Incredible job. John, so Seth Rollins.
Tell John real quick. Since y'all brought up some names and whatnot, it makes me wonder if Kelvin Sampson would make that jump as well from Houston. Although he is kind of making, he is up there in age, don't get me wrong. But I do see him maybe retiring at Arkansas in the long haul also. What do you think about Kelvin Simpson thing?
Man, I've talked to a bunch of people about him specifically. I'm being told he's not going to leave Houston, that there is some things in his contract that is set up to where once he goes, his son would step in and take over for him there at Houston. So, I mean, that makes total sense. Yes, there is the relationship between him and current AD Hunter Yurachek at Arkansas. But yeah, Muss is gone. Muss is out at Arkansas. Like I said, Jackson Collier all but pretty much confirmed it on the show earlier. But now it's official. He's out. So, John, we're talking WrestleMania 40. Sunday night is what we're talking right now. John, WWE Championship. Not the Universal. I'm talking about the World Heavyweight.
Okay.
Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has been just incredible on the mic, by the way. Dude, lately he has been savage, man. I love it. Him and CM Punk got this battle going on. Oh, man, it's beautiful. So here's the thing, John. I think we see Seth Rollins drop the title here. Like we see Drew McIntyre get the win. And then I think we see Senior Money in the Bank cash in. But is it successful? That's the part I don't know. I think he cashes in. But I don't know if it's successful. Because I think just like Bayley, you give Drew his chance in front of a crowd. I think this is the redemption year for those two wrestlers. They couldn't get their shine at WrestleMania at the Performance Center, so you do it 4 years later at Philadelphia.
I just hope this match, me personally, lasts a good maybe 10 to 15 minutes because we know Seth Rollins ain't 100%. First of all, we know.
Oh, that match is gonna go an hour, dude. I'm telling you, that match, this match we're talking about now, and the one we're talking about next, the one we're talking about next, I think goes longer than an hour.
Yeah. But I just, like you said, I think Drew does win the championship because Seth Rollins ain't 100% right now. And it definitely has been showing the last couple of weeks as well. Well, he's been talking about his injuries, and whatnot. And I also think, in the long haul, he might, let Becky be the champion, for a little bit where he can spend more time with his daughter on the road, while Becky wrestles, whatnot as well. And I also think, you made a good point where is he going to cash in? I think he will, just like you do. But the question is, will he be successful? I think it's maybe like a coin toss, 50-50 type right now, to be honest with you, on who wins that.
Oh, agree 100%, man. Agree 100%. All right. So based on my Saturday night prediction, this is going to be a bloodline rules, tribal rules, which really means there are no rules. Cody Rhodes, the challenger. Roman Reigns, the undisputed, can't be beat. Technically lost last year or whatever year it was to Kevin Owens when he got the handcuffs put on him and the ref stopped counting. But anyway, Roman Reigns, champion still. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship is on the line. I think you're going to see every member of the bloodline come out. Don't be shocked if a casket's not rolled out and they just open it up and there's somebody else from the bloodline inside there. You don't. I mean, seriously, there's going to be everybody's going to come out. You're going to have Jay's going to come out. Jimmy's going to come out. Don't be shocked if somebody doesn't debut and pop out. One of the Fatus. Rikishi could come back out. Imagine Rikishi and The Rock lock eyes in the middle of the ring. I mean, that place would freaking erupt. I will, for damn sure. I think you're going to see Seth Rollins come back out and help. I think you're going to see, numerous people. Hulk Hogan may show up. John Cena may show up. Stone Cold Steve Austin may show up.
I think all three
Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man could show up. Tamina could come back. Nia Jax. She's a member of it too.
Yeah.
And don't forget the one person that The Rock has not talked any crap about at all. He talked about the man's dog. He ain't mentioned Brandy. Don't. Man, mess around and find out. She can show up too. Honestly, John, I don't know what to expect, so I have no expectation. I expect pure carnage. I expect pure anarchy. I don't know what's going to happen. Everybody, like I just said, everybody and their mom is going to come out. And I think in the end, Cody wins. And the way I think he wins is what I've been saying for the last 2-3 weeks. I think The Rock turns on Cody.
You mean Roman?
Roman. Yeah. The Rock turns on Roman. Setting up Cody versus The Rock. Probably a couple times. I think first match won't be for a title. Second match will. First match, Rock will win. Then he'll say, "Oh, give me the title, you bitch." And then Cody win the second one. But I'm telling you right now, I feel bad for Mama Rhodes because the woman is going to see a lot of blood Saturday night from her son. But then she's going to see it again Sunday. And I think you're going to see more Sunday. From both of them. I think Roman's busted up. I think Rock's busted up. WrestleMania 40, the build for this match Saturday and Sunday. Really more Saturday, but I think the build really sets up Sunday beautifully. I think it's one of the best builds in Wrestlemania history for a main event. And it really, just like Joey said, and I hate that we had technical difficulties with Joey Wood. Just like Joey said, they cranked it up. They broke the damn knob off the last 2 weeks. I mean, you got The Rock in Memphis talking crap about John Morant. I mean, he is just, he just goes left field and says whatever on the mic because he's The Rock and he can do that. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting 2 nights of wrestling. It's the grandest stage of them all, taking place right there at Lincoln Financial Field there in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm really excited to see the stage. I've held off. Normally, my little nerdy research ass will get on there and go find spoiler pictures of it and stuff. I've held off this year. I'm trying to go back to the old way where I don't know what the stage looks like until I watch the pre-show. I'm excited, John. I think it's going to be a fun night of wrestling. Speaking of fun, this show's been a lot of fun today. Jackson Collier, man. Go ahead.
I was going to say, also, I think you made a good point. The last two, it just shows how much Triple H is doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes lately as well. And I think he's done a great job, not only doing these storylines, and whatnot, but he's also doing a great job by just putting a lot of stuff together, not only around the clock, but it seems like he's a working machine lately 24/7. So kudos to Triple H in the game, too, for doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes as well this week. Because,
100%.
This one we got SmackDown tomorrow, and then you get the Hall of Fame right after that, and then he's pretty much doing everything. And then he's also got that new one now. He's got some wrestling matches in 3 minutes, basically, too. So just kudos to Triple H and the rest of the game. Just doing a great job. And whoever's got tickets this weekend, enjoy it. Cherish the moment with your family member if you're doing it with your family member. And we do have a friend of ours going to Wrestlemania on Saturday, so he can have fun too. So Jeff, have fun if you're watching the show right now. So enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be another exciting night. And you're 100% right. Triple H, Paul Levesque, once taken over, has really put his staple and put his mark on not only the wrestling you see on screen, but the camera angles, like I talked about earlier, the little nuances and things he does, and little nuggets of information, little Easter eggs. And John, the other thing is this, man. Mm-hmm. There was a certain documentary that came out recently about Bray Wyatt, and at the end of that documentary, we saw a certain uncle possibly tease a return as the lantern was relit. So let's keep that in mind too. You never know what's going to happen at WrestleMania. You just don't. And I mean, dude, if Uncle Howdy shows up, I'm coming off the couch. Coming off the couch, dude. Huge fan of that character and that entire Wyatt 6 deal. And rest in peace to Bray Wyatt for sure. Man, because they had some real plans for that guy. But thank you to everybody watching and listening today right here on this 4-Star Sports Radio Network. This has been the Sports Buffet. And if you ain't full after today, I don't know what to tell you, because we have given a lot of information. We broke some news. Eric Musselman's out at the University of Arkansas, heading over to the University of Southern California to coach the Trojans, fight on. So the search for a new basketball coach is going to be taking place here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Northwest Arkansas is a buzzing right now, John. It's a buzzing. Plus you got Ole Miss coming to town for baseball. You got Missouri coming to town for softball here in Arkansas. You got the Northwest Arkansas Naturals kicking off tomorrow. You got the Memphis Tigers heading to Rice to hopefully take care of the carbohydrates in baseball. Man, I mean, you got a lot going on, dude. This is one of my favorite times of the year. Plus, don't forget the Final Fours this weekend, folks. So, you got those two games to look forward to as well. So, John, been a fun show, man. I appreciate you hopping on with me here at the end. Like I said, we talked a little Northwest Arkansas Naturals, talked with Jackson Collier from hogbeat.com to talk a little Arkansas Razorbacks as Jackson would break the news, essentially, that Muss was out. And then we had Joey P. Wood on for just momentarily before we had some technical difficulties with him. But we broke down Wrestlemania 40 and all that it is going to entail. John, once again, man, thanks for jumping on, buddy.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me again. And, I definitely look forward to more next week with you. And, hey, hockey playoffs are approaching too, so we can't wait to talk hockey with you.
Man, I was just thinking the same thing. They're back too.
The Blues might be eliminated, bro.
Yeah, I know. We're not talking about the Blues. All right, man. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna jump out of here, but we'll be back. If not tomorrow, we'll be back for sure first thing next week. Breaking it all down, Wrestlemania Final Four, Naturals opening weekend, MLB and more. Guys, if you ever get hungry for sports, just come take a seat at the sports buffet here at Four Star Sports Media, and we will keep you full. Thanks, John. Thanks, guys, for watching and listening. And as always, be safe.